Today's video is going to focus very much on the issue of menus. One of the challenges that with menus are with WordPress is you actually have to add the pages to it. The other challenge we have with Teamviewer is this particular section and moving it around, which is entirely my fault. But you can see here, Eve is trying to actually add and log himself in so that he can actually do some editing. Our plan is to actually show him how to add the pages to the menu. So here's the dashboard in Ghana as he actually looks for the menu and the pages. We're going to look at how many pages that are available already created. Now at this stage I didn't know how many pages were there, but he quickly scrolls down and identifies that we have a few pages. We have crowdfunding, and he just moves that over there because the save section is also down there. Now I can't actually move his tweet viewer page link, but I can actually do my own. There's the pages. Now there's one page on the bottom there that I haven't added and I haven't looked at. Very cultural. So again, I'm having to move that around. There's a slight delay in the movement. So move the page around. We're now going to go into where the word menu is. So we show him where the word menu is within the menu. Click on the menu there, show where it is on the dashboard because you can access it from the dashboard, and there you are. Click on the word menu on the box, and that takes us into the menu structure. And there we have the menu structure, and we can see exactly what's on the menu, and we can see some of his pages aren't actually visible. There's the list of pages and there's the missing bit. Okay, so we can see that each page, we can see what's missing. This is the first time he's actually seen this particular section. So we're adding crowdfunder to that particular menu. We're actually showing him that this can be done and how it will alter the page. I'm actually talking through this particular section as we go, pointing out we need to move it to actually save the page. Without saving it, the menu doesn't appear. So he's asking me questions as we go along. Now this is one of the first times I've actually used the voice side of it as well, which you can't hear in this particular area. There's some bits that aren't necessarily relevant to this training session. But what I'm now going to show him is the fact that as we move this page down and we move his section away, we can actually get to our menu. So we there see crowdfunding. It appears on the very right hand side there, and we've actually at that stage shown him the key button that has been added through our training at this section. So he actually sees all about wages and crowdfunding. Now he's actually added the My Wage section on there, and there's his actual appeal. From adding the page on the menu, his appeal appears on the screen. Now this again is the first time he has seen it online, and he's actually added this page himself. So that in itself is a result. In fact, we could stop there, but what we haven't added at this stage is new menus. And again, this is a new stage of training to actually add a new menu to the page. Now you've seen a few minutes ago he'd actually added a page itself to the site. I haven't looked at that page. I have no idea of the contents, but it is certainly a cultural page, so my understanding of it may have been limited. So we're pointing out to him the issue of structure, the page and the website structure. So we're seeing all the pages, we're making sure he's noticed what's on there. Now there's two aspects here of the issue of the managing of menus, and there's also the issue of seeing those menus. So you can see at the top there, you can also create a new menu just by clicking on that button there. Now again, he has not created a new menu. The existing menu has been set by myself. So, pointing out the menu location and names options. Select a menu, primary menu and footer menu. Now what we're about to do is actually put in a footer menu, so that it's slightly out of sight. We can have a tinker around it without actually being noticed too much initially. So he's actually seeing what the various bits and bobs of menus are here, main and top, etc. It's a slightly frustrating question that WordPress regularly asks you. Do you want to stay on the page or not stay on the page? At this stage I'm actually thinking about whether I should remove these chat bits, but if you do that you can potentially close your Teamviewer down, which can be slightly annoying if you're in the middle of a training session. So I thought about it and thought actually I'm going to carry on with this because he cannot see both my screen and his screen during this process. So he can only see his screen. So what I'm now looking at is customizing the theme of the page, because again this is a key element to the site. The whole theme can be changed should it be required, but he needs to actually see the menu section and see how it works. Again, the first time he'll have looked at this particular side of it. This whole session is about themes. So we're going to give it Other as the title, keeping it nice and simple. And then we're going to add its location. So it's going in the footer. So it's been added as an item. He's seen the page. And then we can add a page to the footer. So we select the page. Now he actually sees these videos after we've produced them, so he has a clearer idea of what we're actually producing. Again, we click on the page, onto the site, so that he sees exactly what is happening. I find it fascinating, the Ghana adverts compared to the UK adverts. Google actually produces them. There we go, the bottom menu section. His page added to a bottom section of the website in a separate menu. So that's for him to develop. Initially we didn't have audio on this, by the way. It was purely and simply text. Every single aspect of it was text. So it was initially practicalities, bandwidth, etc. that made us go down this particular direction. Out of interest, this is actually being hosted in the UK. He's actually operating it from Ghana, actually learning how it all works in that way. Actually explaining that you want this section moving can be a challenge. I've actually forgotten at this stage the key bit about how to explain to him to actually move that across the site, which is slightly amusing, but there we go. One of the catch-22s with training in this particular format, it's trying to remember what the other person can see at their side and what they can't see, and using two computer screens at the same time. However, there we go. We have the other menu, which we created earlier on. We've got the selection button, and he is now seeing what the structure. Whoops, there we go. I slipped up and I have to go back into his screen instead of being on my screen. Slightly frustrating aspect to it, but here we go. There's the menu structure. There's added footer page, and I'm pointing out to him that he can add additional pages should he wish. So I click on the training as an example, and I'm then looking to add that to the page. There we go. Now at this stage it's only fair to point out to him that we can remove that page should we wish to, and there are options around it. So again, I scroll down the page and I highlight to him the word remove, so that is then removed. And effectively that ends the training session in terms of the information being provided. He has learnt how to add the menus, add pages and remove pages. So pages that he couldn't see before that he was getting concerned about, he has now learned how to make them visible online, and he then has to think what pages should go where and how this is going to affect his audience in accessibility. These are all aspects of designing the website. There he is in the screen. We can see his face here appear, and that's us saying thanks very much indeed for watching this particular video.